In this demonstration, we'll show how you can set up the native integration from CluedIn to Power Apps and Power Automate. First, let's head over to our settings. You'll find that there are many settings that need to be set here for the base URL of Power Apps, the usernames, the passwords, the client IDs, so forth. You can find all of those credentials by heading into your own Power Apps instance, heading up to the cog, and clicking on your developer resources. You'll find things like your environment ID there, and your URLs, and everything you need to connect the two different systems. Let's head back into the platform. Let's head to entity types, and let's create a new concept that we don't have in the platform already. Let's say we're creating desserts. So we've got the new concept of a dessert. If we got an ice cream available or ice cream truck, let's try that. And you can see that there is a specific path set up for this entity in the CluedIn platform as well. With that in mind, let's head back and create a vocabulary. Look, we're also going to call this dessert, and we're going to associate it to the dessert entity type that we just constructed before. We will prefix all of the columns of this data with dessert. We can add a description if we need. I'm going to leave this blank. Once we're here, we can start to build up the structure of the dessert. So for example, a dessert will have a name. Let's add it under a group called meta. And the type of data is text. We might also want to create a couple of keys here. So let's just say we create this, and we also have something of flavor. And in the meta field, and let's set this as text as well. And finally, we might add some type of identifier. So let's add a key, calling it ID, and we'll add it into that meta group as well. This is of type text as well. Okay, so we've got the scaffolding of a dessert. If we head over to Power Apps and head to Custom, you can see that we've got an empty list here. Okay, so once we actually sync the systems, we'll see that this table for desserts shows up in our Power Apps, and we can start working with it directly. The only last thing that we need to do is we need to head back to our entity type that we just created. Let's search for dessert. Let's copy this entity type code here. We're going to need this to put it into our settings. Let's head over and let's paste it into the CluedIn entity types to Dataverse settings section. Then let's enable the sync between the two different environments. This will go off and scaffold absolutely everything I need to be able to have the two different systems talk to each other. I'm also going to enable the workflow of ingestion of data to be set up automatically as well. And I'm also going to set up that the creation of CluedIn streams is done as well. What I've effectively done here is I've closed the loop, where we can either create records directly in Power Apps now, or we can create them in CluedIn, and those records will now be in both systems. So this will go off and start to set up all of those different pieces, and then report back to me once all the setup has actually been done. Okay, so we can start to see our notifications coming in, and you can see that some things have been done. About a minute ago, our table was created. Our export target was automatically set up inside CluedIn. Our stream was set up in CluedIn so that we can push data back to Power Apps from CluedIn. Our mapping's been done, our ingestion endpoints have been set up, and now our Power Automate has been created as well. Let's go a look and see what's happened. So if we head over to our streams, you can see that just a minute ago, our Power App stream for the dessert was set up. It's automatically filled in the right filter, and if we have a look at the export target, it's pushing to our Dataverse connector with all the fields that we would expect as well. Of course, we don't have any data in the platform yet. We'll solve that in a second. If we head over to our data sources, under the Dataverse folder, you can see that the automatic integration has been set up for the dessert table. However, we actually haven't received any data yet. That's okay, we'll get that soon. If we head to the mapping, you can see that the mapping's already set up and ready to go. Okay, let's head back to our entity type for the dessert. And here, we can see these 3 tabs that have now been appended to this particular entity type in CluedIn. First of all, we can see the Dataverse data. Now, this allows us to actually enter brand new records from Power Apps directly in the CluedIn platform itself. So, we go to here, we can see that our flavor column is here, our ID column is here, and our name column here as well. So, let's go ahead and add some data. Let's say we've got an ID of 23, we've got a flavor of vanilla, and we've got a name of ice cream. Now save the record. Now not only will that be available in Power Apps, but now it's doing all the work to bring that data into the CluedIn platform as well. So let's head over and search for our data, and you can see that my ice cream is right here available, just as if I created that in CluedIn. However, it's also over here in my dessert table. You can see that there is that rather real-time sync between the 2 different environments. In addition to this, if I head back to my entity type and head to workflow, if we head to our Dataverse columns, we can see that we can also create brand new columns here as well. If we head back into Power Automate, head over to Flows, we can also see that an automatic workflow has been built for the dessert. You can see that it's already sent data between the 2 different systems, and that if we edit it, we can introduce our own notifications and workflow steps of approval to the out-of-the-box workflow that's automatically constructed by CluedIn. As you can see here, that when a new record is entered into the dessert table, it's going to post the data back to my endpoint inside CluedIn. With this all set up, we've now got a real-time sync between Power Apps and CluedIn to be able to manage your data in either environment.